This podcast is a 98 Studios production.
Today's the day, baby.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Today's the motherfucking day.
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to Today's the Day with Zack Anderson, and I'm really excited. This episode's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll preface real quick before I intro the guest. I've wanted to do this kind of like, it's an idea of like a series in my head of the people that I work the closest with that I've been able to have an impact on, that have also had a massive impact on me, and that I work the closest with, to just go and kind of extract like, why do what we do? How do you do what we do? How to do it well? What have you learned in all your years and everything? And I'm really, really excited. So for those of you guys that are in door to door, this will be this series that's like bread and butter for you guys. There'll be a bunch of episodes on this, and I'm really excited about it. So for the first guest of this series from my executive group, I wanna thank and welcome legit, like one of my closest friends now, one of the people I work with the most, my boy CJ Pilling. I'm super stoked. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, Zaw.
Yeah, dude. I know we literally were just working together before this. We got a busy day. We'll be hanging out after this, so it'll be a lot of fun. But I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and the reason I've been wanting to do it is because I want all of the people that end up in our org to understand, like, it's like a collective venture of all of us to go create basically like this startup and go and scale it and do everything. And to give everybody kind of an idea, or I guess to kind of pat the program that CJ helps contribute to and run so much, like we're talking about like basically a startup company is the feel of it, but a door-to-door company within a massive juggernaut of a publicly traded company where we go and all we do is go create revenue for the company, and we are paid solely on that. We're 100% commission based, and our little group of friends and homies and startup that we have right now was paid out $10 million in compensation in 2025. Like that's crazy.
Sheesh.
Right. And like when I think back to when I was like forming my first team, like that's a crazy number. I never thought about that. If your office makes 7 figures, that's really cool. If your office can make a couple 7 figures, that's awesome. When you're up in 8 figures in a year of commissions paid, like that's crazy. And then you think about the amount of revenue we generated for the company, and like you guys are looking at the guys that like form, create, and run this thing. Like we're nothing special. CJ's more special than me. But so dude, before we kind of get into it, kind of give us the story of CJ a little bit. Like what's your story? You can hit it as much or as little as you want. Kind of where are you from? What got you into door to door? And then what's been your career so far in door to door up until this point?
Yeah. I guess before my life in door to door, I grew up in Kaysville, Utah. And a little bit to understand me, you'll probably have to understand a little bit about my family situation at that time. And I had a single mother, and there were 5 kids, and I was the oldest boy. So like very young, I feel like I learned a lot about responsibility, a lot about helping out, chipping in, and just a lot of hard work. But also one of the biggest like game changers was the lack of resources that I had helped me understand and look for that in others, so that I actually found really good role models growing up. Even with an absent father, I had really cool uncles, church leaders that had resources, and they were very, very nice enough to be helpful and help me as I was growing. Give me direction as I was growing up. So like that was a little bit about like my upbringing. And then as soon as I turned 18, I remember it was a very pivotal thing, because now instead of like basically working for my mom and my family my whole life, I was like, holy cow, now I have the control to go do something cool. So the first thing I actually did was I went on an LDS mission to California, and I spent 2 years out there teaching about Jesus, learning as much as I could about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back and I had a typical 9-to-5 making like $800 a week. And my cousin's boyfriend invited me on a Blitz. When I look back at it, I honestly was probably the easiest recruit ever.
Yeah.
Like it was at like a family reunion. He was like, yeah, just come out for a week. We'll pay for your flights. And I've never been to Florida. So I was like, okay, I'm in. I went out, got a sale my first week, made more than $1,000 on that sale in a week. And it didn't even feel like work.
Yeah.
Because we all know when you're on the doors, really all it's about at the root is making a friend. If you're good at making friends, you'll be really good at sales.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't even feel like a job. So the fact that I could go make more in a week doing something that I enjoy versus, using a hammer and being a grunt all day, it was a pretty easy decision for me.
That's awesome. So that's like how you got into it. I mean, you're like the recruit everyone dreams of, the guy you
Right,
ask,
yeah.
like, hey, dude, come do it. And then they end up just being a total stud and they just figure it out, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're like the dream recruit, exactly as you said. So you went out on your blitz, you kind of, I call that like catching the bug. Like, I feel like in door-to-door specifically, depending on the vehicle, and we'll talk a lot in this series about how important the vehicle you choose to do your door-to-door career in is so important. Like,
Yeah.
more than the stuff that you would think is important, right? Like, it's really easy to get caught up in stuff that actually is pretty minuscule on the scale.
Mhm.
But so that's how you got into it. Then what was it? Was it, hey, dude, come out and do a summer of sales? And you're like, okay, cool. Hell yeah. I already got the bug. I'm in. You ship out for a summer, or what was that for you?
So for me, once I made my first sale, I actually never left for 4 months. So I packed 2 weeks worth of things and I lived out of that same suitcase for 4 months.
It's incredible.
And I went straight from, setting my own appointments after 4 months. Then I went to closing my own appointments. Then I went home for 2 months. And then I went back out for a summer after I recruited a team. So like it was, I did catch the bug, more like a flu for
yeah,
me.
you got
More like the flu for me.
you got
but-
COVID-19, bro.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you kind of turned it into your thing at this point, right? And
Yeah.
was it always solar? Got straight into solar. Solar was the first thing. That's what you did, right?
Yep, it was only solar. I did it for like 2 years, like independently with a dealer. And then the dealer wasn't looking too good, as we all know, like most of them aren't looking too good. And at that moment, I was looking to be recruited again. That's when we met.
Yeah.
As I was back in Utah, I bought my first home, and I really was looking to get recruited. Like I was the one setting up meetings, trying to get people to be like, okay, like I need someone to help develop me as a leader so that I can grow.
So let me ask on that. When you say you were being recruited, you were already a couple years into your door-to-door career, right?
Yeah.
And you actually had done it at a pretty high level. You had already gone and earned how much in a year? To this point, when you were actively trying to be recruited, what was your highest earning year before that?
So I made $300,000.
Made $300,000. Now you're actively trying to be recruited. I really want to walk people through exactly what puts you in that frame of mind of like, okay, I need to go and like find a different place to put my effort, even though it's like, this is working clearly. Nothing
Yeah.
was broken, right?
Right.
Nothing was broken. And there's a really, like, it was a really cool experience. I was part of you coming over. And like, when I say I was part of it, I mean, like, you literally reached out to be recruited, basically, right?
Mhm.
And we had a meeting and we aligned on a lot of things and it worked really well. And I'll let you speak to the reasons you made the move. But like in that moment, what were you looking for that was lacking or about to be lacking? Because I think you moved in you made such a good move. And
Yeah.
a lot of people that make moves in door to door either A, should have never made a move, or B, they make the completely wrong move because they allow the wrong things to become their focal point.
Right.
For you, what was it like when you were looking to be, what were you looking for?
Right. So believe it or not, like what I was looking for was like just a good group, but something that was super surprising that I didn't expect by coming to work with y'all is I was expecting to be a little underwhelmed, like with the amount of work. I was like, these are a bunch of bros, like we're gonna have fun, we're gonna sell. And quite frankly, I was overwhelmed with how dialed our weeks are, our months are, our quarters are, our years are. We have meetings every single week, all these things that I didn't know I was looking for that I found with y'all, which was like, it was hard for me at first because I'm used to like maybe having one meeting a day and then it's like
Yeah.
go selling. You don't really hear from your manager and
Yeah.
he's not really out there closing all these deals and stuff either. So it's like, so I feel like I was just looking for someone who's actually doing it and who's leading from the front and keeping a schedule. Because for me, like it's a lot easier to be in a system when there's a schedule that's firm and not wishy-washy.
Mhm.
And with people that have a direction with where they're going
Yeah.
versus ones that are still looking, right?
Yeah. That's super, super cool. And I think we'll get into all the things that you've noticed that you like, and even the like the changes that you've gone through of like the level that you're at right now is like so far beyond what you were at 2 years ago. No credit to me, all credit to you. Like you have literally, and I'll explain all that in a minute, but when you first decided to come on board at Sunrun with Meraki, like with the boys, you first, like, what was the reason? Like, yeah, this is where I'll go put forth my effort. Like, dude, you're a high level person. You make 300 grand a year. For someone to go supplement that, they've got to have things to you that were like, or was it literally just like, dude, got a good feeling about it, gonna rock with it, and then you discovered all the things that were beneficial to you? Or what was that when you first made the move? Why did you go to Sunrun? Why did you go to
Yeah.
Meraki?
So the initial reason was I wanted to get out of like year to year and being like pressured to work year round and getting into a summer program where we make the bulk of our income in those 4 to 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
versus like moving out to market for 8 months to a year, And then for me, it was just like I'd stay out for 8 months and I'd burn out, stay out for 8 months and burn out and come back to Utah. So I really was just looking for like a schedule that fit with what like the lifestyle I was trying to live.
So wild. And then your first year you came out, and then you came out, we've worked together for 2 full years at this point.
Yep.
Your first year you came out with us. What did you earn your first year coming and working with Meraki within Sunrun within all
So
that?
the first year was a little over 300.
Yeah. So literally you went and in a completely new system earned more than what you earned in an old system. And the pitch from the dealer to Sunrun would have been, dude, we pay way more. That's like the whole pitch. That's the appeal. We pay
Right.
way more. Sunrun doesn't pay anything. And you went and beat your best earning year in a brand new system. And you didn't work 8 months.
I didn't exactly in half the
You
amount
worked
of time.
half the time,
Yeah.
which is the coolest part,
Yeah.
right? Because it's true. If you run a real, true summer program, you can go do what people can do in 12 months in 4.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the whole point. It's
Yeah.
very high octane. It's what I love. It's a blast. So you made the decision. You came over. I'll ask, and I have multi-layered questions, but since you've been a part of the program, a massive part of it, like you're leading, like legitimately one of a massive branches of Meraki, like you're a very big part of it. What have you found or learned that you're like, okay, this is important. This is important. This is a good Northern Star. And I really like how this is done here. Not necessarily what have you learned about door to door that makes you successful. We'll go there. But what have you learned about the importance of the org you're with? What a good org consists of, what certain cancers are that you should watch out, or red flags you should watch out for, and what are green flags where you should double down if you're seeing those things, in your opinion?
Right. I would say like one of the things you said about the things you should look out for, I would say the ones who are usually the most successful in this job are the ones that have the hardest time like exploiting it because it's something that's very sacred to them. Like the way we're able to train people and help them level up and go from setter to closer to manager, I would say like there's a lot of strategy to it that can't always be exploited. But one of the strategies is a consistent schedule. Like something about Meraki is that you honestly wouldn't think, that I didn't think coming into it, is we are so hard on our schedule. And it's a year-round job, even though we only actually work for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens to be like the things that feel like that are work don't feel like work, right?
Yeah.
Like we're in the office today for 4 hours. Does not feel like work at all.
Yeah.
But it is, right?
Yeah.
So we keeping like all these weekly and yearly schedules that you hold us all to accountable to by like running Meraki has for sure been like the game changer, because it feels like you're building, your house on a firm foundation rather than a sandy beach.
It's huge. And like the off season, the idea or my philosophy behind it, and what's really cool, I really want to point out as well, a lot of the things when people come into a certain culture, and I'm not saying our culture is perfect, I'm not saying our group is perfect, but it's kind of like I take my time to interview the best people, and I'm just the best copy and paste guy in the game. Like that's my opinion. I don't think I'm very good at anything else. Right. And like the reason for it is because I view it like a well. And I'm speaking to leadership in door to door. If you're just a slayer, you go make your money, go take a two-month Bali trip, respect and keep doing it. Like don't change anything you're doing. You're living an awesome life. But if you're that next level where you really want to go build in this industry, it was actually something you said at one of our first correlation meetings in the summer when I was out there visiting. And you said, dude, like you can't expect to make career type money if you don't put in career type effort. And it's like, that's so true. Managers are turning this into their career. They got to put in career type effort. And the thing with the off season is it's conditioning for the sport. If you don't condition, you show up to game day and you're fat, you're overweight, you're out of breath. Like you show up after conditioning for 8 months, you're dialed and it feels like a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And you go outperform everybody. In addition, it's like I relate it to like pumping a well. You're pumping a well and water starts flowing and it's awesome. And it takes a while to get it flowing. It's kind of exhausting. But once it's flowing, you just got to pump it once a week, twice a week, right? To keep everything going. And if you don't, you then have to get the whole ramp up period again and go pump it again. And I see too many people with this crazy inconsistent energy, effort, input, and they expect consistent outputs. And it's just not how it works, right?
Right.
You can scale systems. And that's been harder for me to learn, but it's something we put a big effort in. So I'm glad that that's a takeaway, or I'm glad that's something that you see. And you're a very big part of it. Like you have really good systems. Your systems work. You create the top reps. Like that's what you do, right? It's really, really cool. So my next question then is this, it's like, dude, door-to-door is really interesting. It's a big sacrifice game, but I almost don't even like using the language that people typically use. This is the typical language of door-to-door. Massive sacrifice. You go really hard in one season so you can relax in another season. It's really, really good way to go earn a lot of money quick. Like, it's very hard. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's like this crazy, risky, 100% commission. Like, I actually don't buy any of that shit, and I don't really subscribe to that language about door-to-door anymore. But those worries or risks or fear are still there. At the end of the day, what it really is, dude, it's a game where you're betting on yourself. It's a game where you have to go and do a lot of things that are very inconvenient. I like that word better than sacrifice. It's inconvenient. It's inconvenient to run a blitz. We know that, right? But it's so valuable, right? And it's inconvenient to relocate every year, but it's so valuable. And it's like, there are a lot of these inconveniences. And then there's also the difficulty of the job comes from facing rejection all day. And there's a lot of people where they may come into this exact opportunity that you have, or even they may never come into it, but they may look at it from the outside and they may view it as like, dude, why the hell would you do that? Right? Like, there's so many other things you can do. This is what I hear all the time. There's just so many other things I could do with my time. Why would I go knock on doors? Why would I go do that? And then I've got a follow-up question that goes even deeper into specifically what we're doing, but why go do it? Like, what do you see as the benefit for a random person who's like, man, should I do sales or not? Or should I keep doing sales? They might already be in sales. What's your advice to those people of like, this is why, man, like, this is what it's been for me and this is why?
So for me, I live by 4 pillars. The first one is God and family. Second one is fitness and recovery. And the third, which has to do with financials, is commission and investments. And I think ever since I started door to door, and why I'm glad I did it, is because there's tons of earning potential to make commissions, but you can turn those commissions, and this is the best part, into investments. And investments don't just pay you now, but they also pay you later on in life. It's building a future, like a real future and retirement plan.
Yeah.
And I want to live my life by that for the rest of life, whether I'm always a salesperson or a business owner, which I would look at as an investment. I always want to live my life by commissions and investments.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And like, for me, it's really kind of like, when people ask that question, it's almost like hard to answer, because it's like, dude, why would you not?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
I'm like, really? I'm like, I can't, I've never seen anything else that's like, you can go and just, like, let me just paint a picture of what a summer looks like. And this is, a summer is like where CJ is going out and making $500,000 plus in 4 months of work. A summer is you go relocate to an area with your best friends. You guys all go knock doors together. There's systems in place and meetings in place so that the 6 days a week that you work are dialed for you. You have Sundays where you hang with all the boys and the girls. It's a blast. And like, it's like the funnest summers I've ever had have been the summers that I've sold. Then you come home and you earn enough money. If you choose to get good at this, anyone who gets good at it earns enough money to go and live the rest of the 8 months of the year however they see fit. Right? Of course, you want to go be a manager. There's more work to go be done. And I don't mind work. It's fun.
Right.
We rented out a indoor pickleball arena to go play pickleball tonight for a team hangout. That's work.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I was texting my fiance, yeah, I've got a podcast. I'm going to go and finish up work. It's like, work, I'm going to throw on my freaking shorts and go play pickleball. Yeah. It's so damn fun. When people ask that question, it almost throws me off. Like, why would you not do it? Like, so my challenge to like the veterans out there that are like, oh, dude, I got to find something else, is like, yeah, like maybe there is something that you need to go and do and that you're so stoked on and it's your passion. Go do it. Totally. But for those of you that let those thoughts enter when really you don't have anything else to be doing, go and just be like, well, what if I actually go and do this like a career? What if I go and make a 5-year plan and try and execute on it? And I take what comes from it and I go give it everything I've got. And then if anything comes up along the way, you go do it, of course. Like, if there's a better opportunity, go do it. I'm not saying trap yourself, but I'm saying approach it with that mindset of, why the hell would I not do this?
Yeah.
Rather than turning it into this thing that's miserable and hard and so many sacrifices. It's not that bad. Like, it is hard. Hard is good though. Going to the gym is hard as well. Right? Running is hard as well. All these things that we go choose to do for quote unquote fun or for pleasure are hard. It's because hard things are good for you. So I've got that kind of perspective. So this is my next piece. So you've been in solar since kind of like the gold rush days of solar, the dealer days of solar, when people could go out with any dealer. It was when dealers were dropping like flies. But if your dealer was still in business, you were making great commission. It was like this game, right? Of like, hot potato, don't be with the hot dealer that goes under. And I think that game is just going to continue to run its course. And there's a reason why I work at the company I work at when really I have any option, right? But even deeper than that, you've seen solar at that time, and now the whole like narrative of, oh, solar's dead, which there's validity to that. Like the dealer model of solar is screwed, loans are screwed, like those are done, right? But like if this idea that solar is dead, you just went and earned significantly more than you've ever earned in solar, and you've been in solar your whole career. You just went and had like a record year for you. You have growth that you've never had. You're building a group like you never had. You have momentum like you've never had. Solar is the best I've ever seen it, right? And when I say solar, I don't mean all solar. I want to be very clear with that. The way Sunrun has done things and positioned themselves have made the opportunity at Sunrun to sell solar better than anything I've seen in solar yet, right? So my question for you is, dude, your boots on the ground. You do very high volume. You sell solar every single day. What are your knee-jerk reactions when people are like, solar is dead, and why? Like, what's your perspective of that and why?
Yeah, the knee-jerk reaction is like you just don't know. You don't understand because you're obviously not doing solar the right way if you're not making six figures every single year. And if you're not doing it the right way, you need to get around the right people who can actually teach you and who are willing to, give you that time to actually teach you how to do it the right way.
100%. Yeah.
Solar for sure is not dead. And the way I look at it with Sunrun and our channel with them is it's only getting better every single year. They've made a lot of changes since I've came over, and every change is a step in a better direction. It's like I've only been part of one other company, and when changes were made there, you were worried, right? You were a little afraid. You're like, oh my gosh, is like my pipeline over?
Errors.
Yeah, is my pipeline over? Is all of a sudden it's going to cut off, and it's like you're not getting paid on your deals anymore. So it's like with Sunrun, like all the changes they've made has been super positive. There's tons of equity to earn in the company, which I'm really excited for and, have taken part of.
Yep.
And it's not the kind of equity you can't sell, which is great. Yeah. So it's like...
You can actually go look at it, sell it when it vests, do your thing. It goes up when it goes up. It's not like a big old mystery. Yeah. 100%.
Right. So it's like my knee-jerk reaction is they just don't know. Some people just don't understand that some people are in the solar game and other people are in the energy company game. Mm-hmm. And obviously Sunrun is very much in the energy company game. We sell power to homeowners on site. We don't sell them systems. We don't take out loans. We don't have to worry with dealers.
And everyone is going to be saying they do the same thing. Yeah, because they now have to. That's all we've been doing. We've been doing that. We haven't been doing the stuff that all the other solar companies are pivoting away from. We haven't been doing that shit in 5 years.
Most of them are still using our portal too. I've talked to a lot of them.
I know. So it's
selling Sunrun regardless.
It's interesting because the in the door-to-door space, of course, everyone's encouraged to retain their reps. The best way to retain their reps is to have their reps think there's no other place they can go make money. So the easiest thing to say is solar's dead. The reason that's an effective thing to say, and the reason that it actually has created like this idea that solar is dead, is there's truth to it, but that's not the whole picture. It's like half the picture.
Right.
The truth to it is, dude, to survive as like a solar dealer in the world that we're in, I would never want to try and do that right now unless crazy changes were made. Not at all. To go and start something and try and mimic what Sunrun is currently doing would be impossible. It would be impossible to go and mimic it. It would take you 15 years of developing it to get it where Sunrun's at right now. Like Sunrun is playing a completely different game. We haven't sold solar panels as our primary, like that's what we do in years. What we do is we do exactly what you said. We go sell mini power plants on homes, PPA. Anyone who's in solar knows, and you probably sell our PPAs, which again, it's always been one of those things in my head. If you're going to go sell a certain company's paper, why would you not work with that company that's fully vertically integrated? And the response is, we make more money selling Sunrun paper. And it's like, dude, go stack up the top earning reps from every company no one touches.
Right.
100%. You can go in your portal, your calculator, make it look really good, and then you get all your adders.
Exactly.
Like it's just like a tale as old as time. But what I want to get to is when people say solar is dead, they're giving you 50% of the picture. And typically, unless you work in solar and they're saying that, right? If you don't work in solar and they're saying that to you, it's just like the information would probably be valuable for you to understand why people like CJ are making more than they've ever made in solar and why they're actually executing at the level they're executing. So it's one of those things. The reason I asked the question is because it's like, dude, I can go say it till I'm blue in the face, but you're out there you're still doing this damn thing. You're selling really high volume. You're making insane money. You're dealing with customers, and it's really freaking cool. Like the product that we offer is no longer like this gold rush, go sell panels to someone, forget about them and make 10 grand. It's like, no, we are like legit selling people power for cheaper than they currently have it with a battery backup and at no cost.
Yeah.
That's like, that is literally what we sell.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And we get to go give a free, right now, we get to go give a free alarm system that I used to sell people for $100 a month. It's like the customer
Yeah.
offering is insane. It's really, really cool. So I
Really.
think I'm glad we dove into that. I've wanted to have that question be asked to all of you guys of like, what are your thoughts when people say solar's dead, right? And it's like, it's really funny. So you've been in door to door a long time, right? A handful of years. You're tenured in the space. You've trained some of the best reps. You've been the best rep. Like now you're getting into this role where you're running an office that will turn into a region, right? Like what are the lessons that you've learned or the lessons that you've followed to go find the success that you've found? Because a lot of people get in door to door. Very few people go do what you've done in door to door or are going to do. What are your non-negotiables? What are the things that make that happen? What are the most important lessons you could go give to people in door to door to go do exactly what you've done and go duplicate it?
Yeah. When you said that, 3 things came to my head.
Cool.
Number 1 is goal tracking. One of the first meetings we had was a goal tracking meeting where we scheduled out how many weeks am I going to work this month? How many am I committing to? How many deals am I going to commit to close every single one of the working weeks that I have? And simple math like that really gets your brain turning, and it also helps naturally other actions in your life lead towards that goal once it's in your head. Now I know exactly how much I have to do every week to hit my yearly goal. And it simplifies life a lot. Goal tracking took me to a whole nother level. Now I'm actually tracking and executing on my goals. The next one is like actually living the life you put yourself out there to be as. Like if you want to be someone who is fit, someone who can give like advice on doing the goals and keeping habits, you also have to have good daily habits.
Mhm.
So like good daily habits like going to the gym every day, reading or listening to a podcast every day, reaching out to someone that you love every day. Those little habits like that really formed me into being a person that is even worth following, right?
Totally. Yeah.
And then the next one is service first. It's like the more I focus on serving my fellow coworkers by leading them, the better off I am, not just like mentally, but also financially. Like the more you help, the more you serve, the more you're compensated. And it's weird because at first there's like a space of time where you're like, oh, will this ever even pay back? If I go physically pay for all these things and help all these people, like, will it ever come full circle?
Yeah.
And you really have to do it blindfolded for it to be genuine and like real, because it is. And then you go and you do all that service, you put all that time, money, and effort into something you're trying to build. And it's just amazing how it really does come full circle if you're authentic about helping and serving the people that you work with.
Totally. And that, I mean, like, I guess to give you your flowers where flowers are due, that's the area that I've seen you go develop more in the past 2 years than any other area. You were already a talent. You were already a killer when you came over. You were already going to go be top rep. You were already going to go do your thing. But what I've seen you go grow a lot in is like really becoming a leader. And what a leader is somebody exactly like that. Somebody who goes and serves everyone around them and provides more value than they ever expect to get in return. And only after doing that do you go realize like, oh shit, this is how all these guys do it. This is how these guys have 200-man squads that like now they're regionals and they have like, that's like the goal. That's where I want to go get. Like, that's how they do it. It's like this aha moment of, okay, cool. And then it's exciting to go. It's exciting to go buy the squad energy drinks. It's exciting to go and hold that extra training. It's exciting to go.
Yeah.
Because you start to feel like, okay, crap. Because we're all capitalistic at the end of the day. We all are in this to go and like better our own lives as well as everyone else's, of course. But if we can switch it to just putting them first, it always comes back. And it
Right.
might not come back right when you want it to. It might not come back when you think it should, but it always comes back. And it typically comes back 3, 4, 5-fold what you put into it. So it's
Yeah.
really, really, really cool.
And that's also where all the energy comes from too. Like that, like when I started adopting that mindset, I also had like so much more energy to give people. I could stay up later.
It doesn't feel like work.
I could help more. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
my bandwidth and capacity literally grew the second I started serving people more than myself. So.
And then immediately after that, or in time after that, your income started to grow. Everything. Like
yeah.
it's so dang cool. The other thing you said is one of the best pieces of advice I got when I was coming up as a leader is the second thing that you said about just, if you want to be able to help people with habits, have the habits. And really like what that, like the way that I would describe that to a leader, someone who's a leader, like, what can I do? It's like, go be the best freaking rep.
Yeah.
Go be the best rep in the office. That is one of your many jobs as a leader, a sub-leader, or a recruiter. Go be the best rep in the office. Go be the guy who's there early for correlation, the guy who will knock later than anybody, the guy who never complains, the guy who never blames Eric, the guy who goes extra hard, the guy who tracks his goals, the guy who helps people, the guy who does role plays, the guy who does it all. Who has all the good habits in the morning, who goes to the gym, who reads the books, who does everything. Go and be the perfect rep.
Yeah.
And you'll realize all that does is it gives your people something to strive to be like. They might not be quite as good and perfect as you are because they don't have as big of a reason to do it as you do, but they'll go and do it a little better than they were before, or a lot better than they were before, because now they have an example to go off of. And you also go and you earn this respect of, dude, I'll never ever ask you to do something I wouldn't do.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you to go write down your top 10 if I didn't do that shit every day for the last 5 years and if it didn't give me everything I have in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you to go knock past 9 if you see me picking people up at 8:30. Like, I'm not going to do any of that unless you see me doing it. And there's moments of weakness and everything, but what the track to go get on is, dude, go be the rep you want all your reps to be, and understand the simple principle. Anything you do well, your reps are going to do it 50% as well as you do it. And anything you do bad, they're going to do it twice as bad as you do it.
Right.
Right. So if you can recognize in yourself the things that you lack in, fix those fast. Right.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're not good at it, they're not gonna be good. If you're not competitive with company competitions, go learn how to seem like you're the most competitive, and go learn to be genuinely the most competitive with them, because then your team will buy into them and it'll get you more production.
Right.
Right. Like, really simple lessons like that I think are so profound for leadership, sub-leadership, or recruiters. Like, that's gold. So another question a little bit deeper. You got into door-to-door. Right now, you're in a very different position, learning very different skills and learning very different lessons than you were learning 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, you were learning, how do I go become such a good rep that I can make the $300,000 in 8 months of work even, right? Like, when you were doing your 8 months, like, how do I go get good enough that I can go make freaking doctor money as a 20-whatever-year-old in door-to-door sales? What were the things there that took you from not knowing how to sell anything, being fresh off a mission, to within 2 years of that making $300,000 a year?
Yeah.
What did you do to go be a good rep?
So the first thing that I did is I wrote down my pitch every single day until I had it memorized. Like, I could say it word for word. So if I ever got called up to role play, that's why I actually wrote down every day. Because I got called up to role play and I didn't know anything. And so then I memorized it. And ever since I had it memorized, now I'm able to add all the extra little, like, microscopic things that make a sale good, like the downtones, the eye contact, the head nods, the hand movements, all the little things that you can start adding to a pitch you can't add till you memorize it. So, like, first things first is memorize the pitch, write it down every single day until you can start working on it. And then the next thing is go work with someone who knows how to do it too. Like, obviously, I can't take you from point A to point B if I've never done it before, right? So, like, not only should you go and do it so you can teach someone else, but to be able to learn it, you need to go attach yourself to someone's
It's a
hip
way to fast
that
track
knows
it.
how to do it. And
Yep.
then just go exactly what you said, go copy and paste. And then you can add all your little twists to it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always easier to copy and paste and then add personality, twists, and yourself to it.
I love that. I love that. And what are, like, some principles for somebody that's going out this summer? Like, I love writing your pitch, and I would say handwrite your pitch. There's something
Yes, yeah.
physiological when you handwrite something, you will retain it better. It'll be in your body, right? In addition to that, like, people are gearing up
Yeah.
to go out this next summer, right? And as that approaches, like, what are the differentiators between an A rep and a B rep?
Managing your emotions, I would say, is the biggest difference. If you can stay out of the highs and lows of sales and nothing's a really big deal, like if I go get 10 in a week versus like 2 in a week, neither one you're going to see me stoked or sad either way. You're going to see me even keel the entire summer. All my reps know this, and I always remind them, like, don't ride the highs or the lows, because especially in solar, you could bagel all week and you could go 5 spot on a Saturday and hit your goal if it's 5 a week. For sure, managing your emotions. Like, the reps that manage their emotions, they just have a way not only better experience or learn more, but they also make way more money. Because if I knock on your door, again, with a lot of like the rejection,
Mm-hmm.
if I go through a rejection and then I take that energy and give it to the very next door, even if it was a lay down like sale, I still would miss, right?
Yeah, your energy.
So it's like being able to manage your emotions and keep your mood even keel all summer will be the difference between like making 10 to 20 grand to like 60 grand, I would say.
100%.
Like
100%.
as a first year rep.
100%. I love that. So then I have a question for you. Follow-up question there is like one of the biggest challenges is also the best advice. The best advice is to stay even keel. It's one of the biggest challenges, and it's something I struggled with getting into it. So for CJ, when you're out and it's one of those moments where you're getting your ass beat from every angle. You have tried to stay even keel, and maybe this hasn't happened in a long time, but you can think back to when it has, like, and you kind of crack and you feel the crack and you're like, okay, it got to me. Like now I'm either pissed, sad, defeated, whatever, and you're still out there. Yeah. Whether it's you're in your bed at night feeling that way or you're out in hood feeling that way. What are the things that you do, say, or remind yourself to go and push through that? Because the second you get another win, you forgot any of that shit ever happened.
Yeah.
Right? That was for me.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
if I'm in the shitter and someone calls me for a referral, all of a sudden I forgot that I'm having the worst day ever. Right? Like literally, it's the craziest thing. And it's the biggest like ode to just don't allow that to have that effect. What are some things though, tangible things? Like if someone's listening to this right now and they're in their bed and they're like, dude, I'm having the worst week ever. I'm having the worst month ever. Or they're out on the doors. They're like, I'm having the worst day ever. Right? Obviously don't use that language, but like, what do you do? What do you do to go get out of that? Like when you're in a hole or a slump or a whether it's a 2 hour, 2 day, whatever, what do you do to go and get out of that?
That's it. So I'm a firm believer that you need to train yourself to award good behaviors with pleasure and bad behaviors almost with pain, with things that would stop your brain from going there again, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, like the pain is one more. Like if you're an Ed Milet fan, I listen to every one of his podcasts. I've like never missed one, honestly, for like a year. And it's like, he always talks about doing one more.
Yep.
Like for me, that's the pain. That's how I associate. If I give my brain that bad behavior where it's like, oh, I'm feeling sorry for myself, I'm feeling bad. I force myself to go one more and go another one and go another one. Like
until you're no longer in that mood.
Until I'm no longer in that mood. And you'll find that like usually at your breaking point is where the sale is for me. Yep. Like my brain has been starting to like recognize it as a sign that it's almost there. If I've gone through these no's, I'm in the gutter. It's almost like, okay, I just got to knock one more. I just got to knock more. I keep saying that. And then you go find your deal.
Yeah.
It works almost every single time, like literally almost every single time.
I love that.
So whenever you're about to hit your breaking point, like train your brain to understand that success is around the corner of failure. Mm-hmm. So go fail quickly so that you can find your success.
Gold.
And that's like
gold.
Been the thing I've been able to train my brain to do over time is like recognize failure as something that's part of the process, not the end of the process.
100%. I think that's phenomenal advice. The only thing, because I went through like a lot of different ways of doing that when I would get into slumps, and I'm superstitious, so I would only knock in certain shoes to keep my confidence. I did a lot of things to maintain my level-headedness, and I got to the point where I got very good at it, but in the moment when I started, I wasn't, and that would have been such good advice to hear. And the reason it's such good advice is because that's a moment when motivation has left your body. That exciting emotion that you had at the beginning of the day when you're like, I'm going to go sell 5, and you say 5 and they put it, and then it's 7 p.m. and you have none. That emotion of motivation is gone. And now you get to go see, like, I want to point this out. If you are having a hard time and you feel it cracking, that's good.
Yeah.
That means you get to see what you're made of.
Literally.
Like that means you get to see how much discipline and drive you have, not motivation. I can go motivate you if I get in front of you for 30 minutes. It's really easy. We can motivate each other. It's really easy to be motivated when everyone around you is cheering and you're with the whole office. It's very hard to find that feeling of motivation 24/7 when you're out knocking and it's 115 degrees. But if you can rely not on motivation, but drive and discipline and action without thinking, like you're pretty much invincible. Like some of the best people in sales are those really odd ducks that are kind of like machines, and they're not like it's like a weird person, right? And it's because they know how to, when that happens, they start cracking. They either don't crack or they know how to just turn their brain off and go one more, do the next one. And you go one more until either A, your day is done, right? Which to me, honestly, I wouldn't let my day end if I was in a bad mood. I would go either have a good conversation or find a deal or whatever it is, no matter the time. Right? Because I just believed in ending that way. But it's like, go another one, go another one, go another one. And the thing is, even if you don't get a deal, your brain will get so wired to just do another one that there's no room to feel negative emotion when your next thought is just, oh, I'm just going to do another one. I don't even care. I'm just going to do another one. I don't even care. I'm going to do another one. And it's like, it becomes so mundane. It's hard to get rocked.
Eventually the decision's already made up. It's not even a question if
Yeah.
you're going to do another one or work all the hours. Your brain's already made up. And for like the ultra competitive people out there, it's like, if you're not going to be the one out there getting that one more, there's people like me who will. And once I heard that from somebody else, that kicked it into gear too. Is like, I'm ultra competitive and I understand that if I'm not going to go put in the extra work, there's someone else that is putting it in. So if I don't go match them or supersede them, like that puts me in a position to lose. So like for ultra competitive people, like take that to heart and let that drive you too. Understand that if you don't go do it, someone else will. If you don't go make that sale, like a better salesman will come behind you and will. So don't let that happen.
Yeah, and it supports two things. Like the do one more and this whole conversation supports two ideas that I believe very heavily in. And they're two of like my favorite quotes of all time. The first one is, you just cannot beat someone who doesn't quit.
Yeah.
If you didn't get a deal today, this week, right now, this door, that door, the last 10 doors, the last 100 doors, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't quit, you will. It is statistically impossible that you do not run into one person, if you do this for long enough, that wants whatever product you're selling. It's impossible, right? Now, ideally, you want to get that number as low as possible for how many people you have to talk to get a deal. But nonetheless, you cannot beat someone who doesn't quit. You can't. You can't lose if you don't quit. So quitting is a poison, and how you do something is how you do everything. So avoid it at all costs, whether it's quitting it on yourself, on the day, on the week, on the month, or really, really just on the career itself or on the summer. Right. And the second thing that you mentioned is eventually the decision's already made. And this is like one of the things that I see as the leading cause, or the leading cost to door-to-door reps for money to be made. And it's called decision fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
They make a new decision every day, every hour, every door, at whatever point it is for them. Most people, it's every day. And they make the decision in the morning. They have to decide, am I going to go all in today or not? Right. And it's like, for the first 30 days of summer, it's really easy to say yes and to follow through.
Yeah.
Then day 31, it's like, I'm feeling kind of sick. Like, I've had no luck in the last week. And like, even the decision itself is hard to make. You're fatigued from making this decision. And then when you get out to the doors and you don't know whether you're going to go hard or not that day, and you knock your first door and someone's not cool to you, it's like, oh yeah, definitely not. And the decision's made. And some people need to hear this for, when you make the decision to do the summer, do the freaking summer. Finish it. When you make the decision to go hard every day, never ask that question again until your year is over if you're going to go hard that day.
Yeah.
If you've made the decision you're going to do one more anytime you feel your mood drop, even if that's after you're supposed to be done knocking, follow that rule. Like little things where you don't have to decide anymore. I haven't had to decide if I'm going to like do the summer in a summer where I'm selling in my last 6 years of knocking.
Yeah.
Right. Because I made the decision at the beginning of summer. The decision was made. So when market got scary and hard and everyone's freaking out, I'm like, what are we going to freak out for? Like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We said we're going to be here. We're going to be here. Right. Like it's plain and simple. No fatigue on decisions. So, such good advice. I want to be respectful of your time. I want to be respectful of studio's time and everything like that. So kind of my last question. This is the point where you kind of get the platform, you get the camera to go and tell everybody, like, dude, there's so many people in door to door, and there's a lot of people listening to this, and there's a lot of like, something I'm realizing in the industry that I just can't stand is there's so much pull the wool over people's eyes. Like, don't make sure people aren't educated, make sure they don't know what else is out there, make sure they think this is the only place to do it. Like, and like, I'm just not a fan of it, and I've never been a fan of it, but like lately it's become a thing. So I'm like, this is for anyone who's listening. Like, I want to go hear why the hell, if I'm at a different company or in a different industry or the same industry at a different company, why work for you? Why work with CJ? Why go take over with Meraki? Why go Biatz? Why go be with you? What's your case there?
So my case to that is, right now in our space, it's really dependent on if you look at this as a career or just like a simple job, right? And like a lot of simple people that do simple jobs, like they make okay money for an okay amount of time, but then what happens? They phase out. They can't really find something better. So the thing about Sunrun and what we're doing here is we're building a career, and it's a huge platform of like the ability to make, $500 to $1 million, especially if you're doing year round, right? And we're in areas where we're targeting areas that have, number one, like high rates, lots of blackouts, lots of issues with the power company already. So when Sunrun comes in, we're already established. We already have 1 million+ customers online. And the thing is while a lot of people are installing solar panels that don't work in sequence, we're installing a virtual power plant in every single state that Sunrun can manage and operate simultaneously throughout the grid, which
Yeah.
is a completely different battle than what everyone else is fighting. Because just like we saw in the news this last year, LA lost power for a day and Sunrun powered the entire city simultaneously using batteries and solar
Mhm.
throughout the grid. And that's what's going to happen state by state. And we're not even in every single state we're going to be in as rates continue to raise. So,
Mhm.
like, I would just say, like, Sunrun has a massive opportunity for a career. You're talking real equity, real incentive, real trips, real commissions, like real job titles versus like what a lot of the other offers that I see, which is like short term, maybe large income, but still very short term, short sighted solar systems. You're sticking homeowners with 25-year financing for systems that only produce half of what they're supposed to over
Yeah.
the 25 years. It's just like there's a lot of reasons why you should work with us and Meraki and Sunrun. It's because we're solving a real problem and we're also doing like honest and good work
Yeah.
compared to a lot of the other things I see.
Totally.
So I went,
Yeah.
and a lot of people know me as like a all the people who actually know me as a reputable person. And like quite frankly, like that's how like I've been recruiting a ton lately, is just like letting you guys know I've never let you down before. I hope you guys can like trust me enough to know that now when I come and exploit this to you guys, like it's real, right?
Yeah.
Which it
There
is.
doesn't need to be any smoke blowing or anything like that.
Yes.
There's too many gimmicks and too many games and everything like that. And then what would you say about Meraki? Like, what does our group do better than everyone else, in your opinion?
Yeah.
You play a big part in it. You are a massive influence on the culture and on the identity that we all have. Like, what do we do better than everybody? Why work with us? And by the way, I hope every one of your managers could answer this question and you feel confident in their answer. If not, come freaking work with us, right? Like, I've been really passive in the industry. It's like, dude, if we're doing something and our people are making money and they're having fun and they're growing as human beings and it's checking all the boxes and we have upward mobility and long-term opportunity and we have, frankly, more fun than anyone,
Yeah.
it's crazy of me not to invite people to reach out. Like, it really is. So my question, last question, what does Meraki do better than anybody else in the industry?
I think everyone wants to be part of something bigger. And what's going on with Meraki is so big in terms of the culture that we bring and the competitiveness that we bring to the industry. I would not have been able to level up to where I'm at without the competitive energy that Meraki brings into my life and the people around me. And it's not like the boring competitiveness, it's the fun. It's the good
Yeah.
culture, the happy vibes. Like we all love each other at the end of the day, but we also want to win things. And like I would say, like when it comes to Meraki, like we have the best culture. We have the best swag, of course, thanks to Zaza. And we also just work at the best company. Like we're in the best situation because Zaza made sure that he put in his due diligence to put us in that position. So
I love it. Couldn't
just
have
not a
answered
better
it
place
better.
to work.
Yeah, couldn't have answered it better. Dude, I freaking love it. This is going to be gold for everybody who's out in summer, gearing up to go out for summer, middle of summer, whenever they listen to it. Like, this is one of the goats of the industry, and I can't wait. This is like, you have a couple podcasts already, but I think this will be like a really good foundational, dude. People are going to look back and watch this and be like, holy shit, that was freaking CJ Pilling when he was like a DDM. Like,
Just
that
getting
dude,
started.
that
Just
dude's a freaking VP now. I'm stoked for you. I really am. So you're a total dog. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And I freaking love you, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Love you
too.
tons. Everybody that is listening, thank you guys for tuning in, and much love. Until next time.